everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to share with you guys my laundry room makeover. I finally have it finished. It's taken me a long time, but I'm excited to share it with you guys today. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button before you leave and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. All right, let's get into the video. So this is the laundry room. As you can see, it's a pretty small space, and the previous owners, I believe, were trying to incorporate it as a pantry as well as a laundry room because it's right next to the kitchen. They added these shelves, which were very narrow, and then they had these cabinets above the washer and dryer and then along the back side of the wall, which really weren't doing anything but making the space feel so cramped. So I got to work by tearing out the shelves at first, and these shelves, they used a lot of brackets on them, so it took me a while to tear them out. Plus also that plug that you see there that's plugged in, which is to a light right outside of the laundry room that is not hardwired. It's just running through the ceiling and then running down the laundry room wall and then plugged in right there. And later on, we're going to get that fixed, but for now, we just unplugged it and we're not using that light. And they had that cord ran all through these shelves, unfortunately. So I had to use the Dremel tool and get that cord out. But that's fine, it worked out. And I got all of the shelves out. And then I had my husband take down most of the cabinets, and I did not film that part, but you know, that was pretty simple, just unscrewing it and taking them off the wall. So, and they were in that great of shape. And actually that cabinet that's right next to me right there, that was recessed inside the wall. So I had some drywall repair to do actually after I took all of the cabinets out, but that's okay. The next thing, and I'm sorry, I lost some footage of me putting up the wainscoting along the walls and the baseboards up. So I already have that done here, but you'll see later on what it looks like in the video. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm not taking up this laminate floor and replacing the floors right now because it's just not in the budget. So I just cleaned them really good, and I got these peel and stick tiles off of Amazon. They are the Floor Pops peel and stick tiles, and I am just laying them on the floor, just matching up the pattern as I go. And as you can see here, I had a helper. My dog Milo wanted to play ball while I was trying to do this, so you can see I'm trying to throw the ball and lay these tiles and do everything all at once. For the most part, these tiles stuck pretty well to the existing linoleum. I did have a few of them move on me when I was putting the washer and dryer back into place. So I did take those up and spray some spray adhesive on the back of each one of them. And then I stuck them to the floor and let them dry overnight before I moved the washer and dryer back again. So that way I would make sure that they stuck really well, and that seemed to take care of the problem. I did use these peel and stick tiles, just a different design on my previous laundry room on ceramic tile, and I didn't have any problems with them coming up or moving when I put the washer and dryer back. So I don't know if it was linoleum or what it was with these, because it's the same brand, like I said, just a different design. So either way, it's not a permanent solution, so these will work for now. As for the corners and the cut pieces, I just use an X-Acto knife and cut them down to size. Then to fill in the gaps between the baseboard and the tile, I just used some caulking, and I just made sure to wipe that clean so that way it would look like a seamless design. I'll go ahead and link these tiles below in the description box. Like I said, I got them from Amazon, but they are Floor Pops tiles, and they're great for a temporary solution. So this is the wainscoting that I put up on the wall. They're just panels that I got from Home Depot. I'll link those down in the description box as well. And then I just nailed them to the wall, and then the top part are 1x4s, and then the baseboards are 1x4s that I nailed to the wall as well. So pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory to do, just nailing them to the wall. And then I caulked all of the gaps and all of the seams, and then I used this paint the color is called Grandma's Linen, and it's by Valspar. I love the color. It flows perfectly with the rest of my house and the rest of my design. It is green, but it has kind of like a gray tint to it, so I love how it looks. I painted all of the wainscoting with this color and the baseboards as well. Now, this is the hole in the wall that was left by the cabinet that was recessed into the wall on this side. So what I did was I just cut out a piece of drywall and just screwed it into the studs. Luckily, there was already studs exposed with that hole, and I didn't have to cut any more drywall. And then I just used some drywall tape around the seams, and then I used some joint compound to cover up the seams. And then this just took a few layers. I layered it on, let it dry, then sanded it, and then did another layer until I got it as smooth as possible. I'm not a professional, but it definitely looks a lot better than it was. Once all the walls were repaired and cleaned off, I used a white paint to paint the top half of the walls above the wainscoting. I know it's kind of hard to see here, but it was just a white paint just to make everything crisp and clean. So my next task in the laundry room was this attic access, and it was just a board nailed to the ceiling. It actually was screwed into the ceiling, not even into the studs up there or anything. It was just screwed to the ceiling, so it came off pretty easily, but unfortunately we were not able to have it inspected, because if it's not like a door to open, the inspector won't open it. So he saw that it was screwed up there. He wasn't gonna unscrew it and get up there. So I was a little nervous about what was up there when I took the door off, or the lid, or whatever you want to call it. But thankfully, it was just a plain old attic with insulation, no big deal. So that was good. Now, the next thing I wanted to do was I framed out the outside around the entry to the attic. And I just used 1x3s for that. I cut them to size, as you can see, and I just nailed them up with my nail gun. I wanted to make a door to get in and out of the attic if we needed access to it that would be easy to open, and my husband had the idea of using the hinges and making it as easy as possible for me to build and for us to get up in there if we ever need to. So I cut a piece of plywood to the inside, the size of the inside of where I had framed out, and then I got some hinges and used that on one side of the 1x3s, and then attached the other side obviously to the plywood. And then I got a latch also from Home Depot and attached that to the opposite side of the 1x3s, and then the little lock to the plywood. And we had an easy attic entry access point that we can open and close, and we can get up there whenever we need to. Another thing that needed to be replaced on the ceiling was this light that was literally falling off of the ceiling. So I replaced it with this one from Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description box. All right, so next I worked on the door to the laundry room. This is just a white, plain 6-panel door, and I wanted to change it to this glass front door that I scored on Facebook Marketplace for $40. I had been looking for one ever since we first moved into this house which has been about 8-9 months ago now, and I finally found one that was the perfect size. Well, the width was perfect. I needed to cut the length off, but that's what you have to typically do on doors to get them to fit right, is cut some of the length. So I went ahead and measured the door and marked it, and then I used my jigsaw to cut some of the bottom off. I would recommend using a circular saw. You'd probably get a straighter cut. And also, when you're working with power tools, always make sure to wear the proper safety gear. Don't be like me, I wasn't thinking, but definitely wear the proper safety gear. And then what I did was I painted the front and the back of the door with that same grandma's linen paint by Valspar, and I just wanted it to be cohesive with the laundry room on the back. And then the front, I just thought it would be nice to have a pop of color when you walk by, and I absolutely love it. When I got it up, it was perfect. So it's exactly what I wanted. And maybe later on, I might do something on the glass, but for now, I left that alone. And then now I'm gonna hang the door. Now, to hang the door was a little bit more difficult because my previous door opened from the opposite direction that the new door was going to open from. So I had to use my Dremel tool to router out on the other side of the door jamb where the hinges were going to go. So I routed out 3 spots on that door jamb, and then I also had to take some of the molding off on that door jamb on the top and on that left-hand side there in order for the door to close properly, because the door was actually a little bit thicker than the previous door as well. So, but it worked out perfectly once I got that all in place and I installed the door, and I love it. I put a new handle on it, and then I went ahead and painted the trim around the door on the outside, just so that it would all blend together and look cohesive and nice. Now, for above my washer and dryer, I didn't want to do the typical open shelving. I needed a little bit more usable space, but I also didn't want to do cabinets because I thought it closed it in too much. So I opted for this system from IKEA. It's called Boaxel, I believe, and you can customize it. You can actually go on their website and you can design it and figure out all the pieces that you need. So that's what I did. And I figured that I would use 3 of the pull-out baskets above my washer, and that would give a good place to store clean clothes when they're done, or dirty clothes when we come in from outside, we're all muddy, or our bathing suits, or the towels from when the dogs' paws are all muddy, just things like that. And then I did install a shelf at the top. I moved it up a little bit from what you can see here, and that is for more decorative purposes because it's kind of high, and then also for things like my iron that I don't use that often, I can store up there. And then on the other side above my dryer, I put 2 drying racks that I can use to hang clothes on or dry clothes on. I think this system is going to work a lot better for me. And now I'm just going to add the finishing touches. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook for more DIYs and home decor, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.